some further thoughts on my previous video. So I'm gonna just say this. I understand that Magneto has been through 2 Holocausts, 2 genocides. I understand that he is fully justified to feel angry. But also, I feel like everyone ignores the fact that Magneto is literally a mutant supremacist. He's an extremist. He is the farthest end of the pole. The only person farther down the side of mutant extremism is Apocalypse. Magneto was literally about to be dapped up by Thanos and Ultron. He's gone, hey, I see a genocide happened. I'm angry about that. So I'm going to go commit omnicide. I'm going to say, the answer to genocide is not more genocide. Does Charles Xavier sometimes play a little bit too much into respectability politics? Yes. But it is wrong to call him an Uncle Tom or a house mutant, because house mutants and Uncle Toms are okay with the status quo being what it is. They benefit from the status quo. The status quo for mutants is never being able to, live without fear, and the government building giant robots to hunt, arrest, and kill them. Charles Xavier fights against that with his X-Men. Literal definition of not being a house mutant. Since when did, fighting genocide with genocide become someone being complacent? Since when did not being okay with every single living thing be, just being a house mutant? Since when did that become a terrible stance to take? Hey, maybe let's not kill everyone. I'm also going to say this, Rogue. What you experienced as Genosha is terrible, and you have every right to feel angry. But guess who else was there with you who experienced Genosha? Kurt, who was on Genosha longer, was a part of the government, was the leader of the faith communities in Genosha, was actively attacked by Sentinels too, and still does not side with Magneto, because Magneto is committing omnicide. Also Cable, standing right there, who spent countless time loops trying to prevent Genosha. Let's not all just act like they haven't been doing anything, and that they're all just sitting on their hands, putting their heads in the sand, acting like nothing is wrong, and we can all just, if we all just dress up nicely and, just do what the humans say, they'll accept us. That's not what the X-Men are, and it's kind of ridiculous for people to act like the X-Men aren't fighting against the status quo. They are, okay, I understand. Charles Xavier is maybe a bit too optimistic, maybe a bit too idealistic, but he is fighting for mutant rights. He is fighting against the status quo. His telepathic power is probably what makes him too idealistic, because he can get down to the ground roots of someone's internal motivations beyond all the politics and layers and subtext, just what a person is at the center. But Charles Xavier is not a house mutant. Okay? It's annoying to constantly see, reactions be like, Magneto is fully right, and, because he's a victim, he can't also be an abuser. He can't also be a villain. Victims can also become villains, too. An abuse victim can become an abuser. It doesn't discount their experiences. No, it doesn't. But you can't pretend that there's no possible way where an abuse victim can become an abuser. especially when their response to genocide is more genocide. The response to death cannot be more death. That perpetuates a hateful cycle, which leads to more death. Magneto gives humanity reasons to fear mutants, which is going to just make things worse for all mutants. And it just... I feel like the show is going to end up going in a Cyclops is right stance by the end, where it's just like, neither Professor X is truly right, nor Magneto is truly right. Cyclops is going to land sort of a midpoint in between their two ideologies. I'm also going to say this, Magneto, you're punishing literally everyone except Bastion, the guy who actually committed the genocide, who clearly collared you for a reason because he fears the master of magnetism. You aren't punishing him. He's just walking free, and you're punishing the rest of the world. You're a mutant supremacist who doesn't fight for all mutants, by the way, just the ones on your side. And if a mutant's not on your side, you are very quick to spill mutant blood. Everyone wants to be like, Logan was wrong for stabbing Magneto in the back, but you know what? If there's a guy in the room threatening to commit omnicide, I think stabbing him in the back is the right cause here. For the greater good here. And what did we bring Wolverine here for, if not to kill Magneto? He said repeatedly he's gonna kill Magneto. What did we bring him here for, if not to do that? I wish that the fandom would have a bit more of a nuanced take, where it's not just Magneto's completely right and there's no way that we can ever poke holes in his narrative, and it's not just Professor X is completely wrong and there's no way we can ever, understand why the X-Men are the good guys in the situation. I'm also going to say this, for both, Charles Xavier did not abandon mutantdom. I don't know if you watched the, last episode of the 90s show, but he was shot and dying. Lilandra took him to the Shi'ar Empire to save his life. No one knew about Genosha happening, and the second that he found out about Genosha, he abandoned, becoming king of the Shi'ar Empire, and went all the way back to Earth. He did not abandon mutantdom. He came back the second he found out about the genocide.